Hello, folks. Welcome back to 2008. It is time for SNME 16, the war to settle the score. We are live on a television channel, Fox
Holy.
in America, Fox Sports in Australia. Anywhere else, buy some DVDs, you losers. Um,
Or DM me on MySpace, and I will
big.
send you a link.
It's been
third time's the charm, Duggar.
third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. It's been quite the hectic, just over a month or so since we've last seen you.
Yep.
All right, quick rundown of things that have been happening, but are not on this show.
Worth mentioning, although most will know that before Tucker gets into this, we are indeed on the road to WrestleMania, and this is our last stop before week 4, WrestleMania 24, Orlando, Florida.
All right, so on the WWE title front, Randy Orton is still your WWE champion for now.
He
defended just a couple weeks ago against Charlie Haas. Charlie, who's really been just a workhorse of Raw, really one of the guys. You know what I mean? One of the boys.
Oh yeah.
Charlie got a WWE title match against Randy Orton, and we thought he had won. We thought that the dream had been captured until heartbreak set in. Randy Orton's foot had been under the bottom rope, and the person who showed this, or revealed this, I guess, to the referee, was none other than William Regal, Charlie Haas's semi-longtime friend slash mentor slash
co-worker.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell their relationship is. It's kind of weird.
They've always had disagreements, I think, even when they were working together.
Yep. Regal explained this action as if Charlie had won his first world championship that way. There was no changing that. There was no there's no making that right in the long run. If your first world championship is won in a what's the term I'm looking for here, in a discreditable way, in a way that somebody could take away from that, do you even really want it? And Charlie Haas seems to be okay with that.
I don't think we got a direct answer from Charlie.
No.
He was conflicted. He was focused not on the past, but on the future.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a fair way to put it. Speaking of the future, 2 weeks time on Raw, we're going to have a rematch of that Charlie Haas Randy Orton match. Charlie Haas beat Mark Henry here on this last Raw. Called Randy Orton out. Basically told him, hey, I work really hard. You don't. That pisses me off.
And a good line that essentially Randy Orton, because of his natural talent, is stagnant. He's great, but he never gets any better. So even though Randy was better than Charlie 2 weeks ago, Randy's going to be the same Randy in 2 weeks' time, whereas Charlie constantly gets better.
Yeah, the exact line was something along the lines of, every time I lose, I get better, I learn, and I grow. You've never had to get better a day in your life.
And speaking of how Charlie earned his first title shot, that was in a triple threat match with Shelton Benjamin and Mr. Kennedy. These three men, Shelton Benjamin, Kennedy, and Haas, were the three runners-up in the 2008 Royal Rumble match. As John Cena won it, these three were the last three eliminations. So they had a triple threat match to decide the number one contender, which Haas won. But Kennedy and Shelton Benjamin, ever since that Rumble, have had a strange relationship. They joined forces in order to defeat the greater evil of the Cowboys, who were assaulting Kennedy even prior to the Royal Rumble. Once that was...
That's our colloquial term for the group of Roy Walker, Trevor Murdoch, and Lance Cade. Just in case we've never mentioned that on these. It's maybe entirely possible.
That's a good clarification. That's a really good clarification. And Roy Walker is like our name for him, right? Maybe,
yes.
Will people know him as that, or do you want to tell people who
Chris Harris? Yeah.
There we go.
Wildcat Chris Harris.
And so, yes, that trio was defeated by Shelton, Kennedy, and actually assistance from John Cena, who we'll talk about in a little bit. But afterwards, their friction between Shelton and Kennedy has continued, and it came to a head this week on Raw when the two went at it on the mic and agreed that in 3 weeks' time at WrestleMania 24, they will fight one-on-one in what is bound to be one of the premier matches on that show. Two former world champions, two generational talents, Kennedy versus Benjamin at WrestleMania.
Some might say that's the main event.
Some might.
Speaking of kind of coming out of DMLS,
the
World Tag Team Champions right now are Legacy, the name that the team of Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. have taken on for themselves. They beat DMLS just before the Royal Rumble for those belts. And also, just before DMLS completely fractured and fell away into nothing. If you remember, Manu had disappeared. Nobody could find Manu, and nobody really knew what was going on with that until he resurfaced a couple weeks later with his cousin, brother, uncle, friend, family member, with his
relative.
There you go. With his relative, whatever that is specifically, we'll figure it out at some point. Umaga, as they have become the Samoan Wrecking Crew.
Yep.
They had attacked Legacy 1 week after their title defense. Was it the No, it wasn't a rematch. I can't remember.
Sorry, what are you trying to work out here? Because I'm a little bit lost.
Legacy had a TV defense, and then that's where Manu and Umaga came out afterwards and attacked them.
Did they? I thought you might be right, but I thought they attacked them after Ted's promo naming themselves Legacy. But I might be wrong. You might be right.
The way I want to say it happened was
there was a DX title defense.
That's the one.
I remember now.
I believe that is the one. Yes, that should be the one.
I don't think they attacked them afterwards because I remember because DX had a little bit of a implosion. I don't think there was room in that for an attack.
I swear they wrestled a match.
I think we can move past this and say they defended against DX. At some point, they were attacked by Manu and Umaga.
Yeah, Manu, who had come back basically to extract vengeance on the members of his former family with a member of his real family. I believe that situation is settled for now, though. Legacy lost the first match, the non-title match. Then, obviously, that gave the Samoan Wrecking Crew a title match, which they then lost by DQ. Manu and Umaga lost by DQ. I think, right?
The second match, yes. The second match, Legacy lost by DQ when Ted DiBiase went crazy.
Yes, that's okay, because that's what I was thinking maybe might have happened. Yeah, perfect.
Sorry, I'm a bit distracted. I'm trying to find out the relation between these two men.
You're good. Which then set us up for the final of like a trilogy here, where Legacy took on the Samoan Wrecking Crew in a hardcore match that Legacy did indeed eke out over the two Samoan destroyers. Speaking of destroyers, Marcus Corvan has really been stepping into his own ever since Elijah Burke kind of walked away from the New Breed. There was never really any official comment on it. He just hangs out with Melina a lot now and doesn't really come around to the house anymore. It's sad, really. Dad left and there was no real explanation. Marcus Corvan has been the father who stepped up, though, taking on Dolph Ziggler and Kenny Dykstra.
I think they're cousins. They're pretty distant on the tree.
Okay,
I think so.
Right on. Marcus Corvan had gotten into it with Tommy Dreamer. I believe they just wrestled, and Marcus Corvan beat Tommy Dreamer, which.
I think you might be right that the wrestling started it off, but I think before they had their first match, Dreamer had advised Corvan to cut his friends loose. And Corvan had been so offended by that suggestion that he demanded Tommy Dreamer give him a match to prove that he doesn't need to cut his friends loose to beat him.
that is it. Marcus Corvon would go on to win that match. Rough Tommy Dreamer up quite badly. Tommy Dreamer did stay up is a relative term. Tommy Dreamer got hit by a pounce and kind of sort of popped back up afterwards, pretty much out on his feet, only for Corvon to hit him with another one and then put him away. Tommy Dreamer then returned like a man sent back. He laid out Ziggler and Dykstra, which Corvon came across their bodies backstage, which led us to another matchup between the two, where Corvon once again trucked Tommy Dreamer.
He did beat Tommy Dreamer, although I'm sorry if you didn't mention this already, but I think during that rematch earlier in the night, Dreamer, well, it's not confirmed, but we suspect, had ambushed and beaten up Kenny Dykstra and Dolph Ziggler.
Yep, got that.
You did say that already?
I did, yeah. I just said that. You're good.
Apologies.
You're good. And to close out here, our little recap, the Royal Rumble winner, John Cena, has, from what we know for now, will be facing Randy Orton at WrestleMania. That could change, though, as 2 days from now, Monday Night Raw, we have John Cena versus Shawn Michaels with that Royal Rumble briefcase on the line.
Well, John Cena has been saying since he came back to Raw, I'm sure you're going to talk about this in a little bit, but he spent a little bit of time on SmackDown. But when he came back to Raw, he's been talking about how Randy Orton has nagging doubts in the back of his head. You see, of course, Randy Orton won the WWE Championship off of John Cena last year at SummerSlam, but Cena immediately had to go off with an injury and get surgery done. So Cena's been talking about Orton, whether or not he has nagging doubts, whether he can beat Cena at 100%. And Shawn Michaels came out to say that those exact doubts are the ones John Cena has about whether he can beat Shawn Michaels at 100%. So they're wrestling on Monday with the title shot on the line. And yeah, do you want to talk about John Cena's brief appearances on SmackDown?
So John Cena went to SmackDown, I believe, the first week. Did he just wrestle the first week? Or
he showed up to save to join in on an ambush that La Familia had on Taker and Batista, and then
yes, he helped Taker and Batista out. Yes,
that's right.
So then the next week he came to the ring and talked about his Royal Rumble decision, which champion he would be facing. Chavo Guerrero came out to the ring, and John Cena told him to his face, basically, "I should fight you. I don't like you. You're pretty good at this, but I don't like you." And I should be fighting.
That would be the main event.
Yeah.
You are the main event.
Yeah, I should be fighting you, but I'm not. I have my own business to attend to. Obviously, Randy Orton. Which leaves the door open for tonight, ultimately.
Yes. I guess that is a good segue. We don't usually go through these things pre-show, but I think you have segued well into what our main event is.
This whole show. Well, not this whole show. We have other important things on here, but the crux of this show is Batista, The Undertaker, once again, #1 contenders match. The winner will go to WrestleMania to face Chavo Guerrero, the World Heavyweight Champion.
In what I think we can safely say will be the main event.
Right on.
All right. Before we go on to the show, I want to just mention, because this took quite a while, so I'm just going to say to people watching, one of the things, me and Tucker spent a lot of time before the show talking about this, is one of the things we're trying to do this year is do more of this, where we catch you up on stuff that happened in the TVs that wouldn't necessarily make it onto the YouTube videos. So pretty much everything we just talked about, if we hadn't have said it, probably wouldn't have made it onto these YouTube videos. So let us know in the comments whether you prefer us to spend whatever it's been. Tucker, how long have we been recording?
14.5 minutes.
Ooh, okay, so yeah. Would you rather us spend 10 to 20 minutes at the start of these shows catching you up, or would you rather us just get right into the show? Let us know what you think.
All right, we are in the MGM Grand here in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the war to settle the score. Let's settle the score.
Let's do it.
The world is watching.
Dun 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 dun.
We get our show intro package.
which explains much of what we just told you.
Yep. And we've got our commentators for tonight. It's Michael Cole, it's Jerry the King Lawler, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
We should mention that Steve Austin has joined the Raw announced team recently. So on Raw, every Monday you'll be hearing Lawler, Austin, and Joey Styles normally.
Indeed. We're kicking right off into, I do believe, Bobby Lashley versus Jeff Hardy.
That's right. Why are these two fighting?
All right, let me get this right this time.
Yes, I feel like it's worth mentioning for the content that Tucker's inability to remember this feud is what caused one of our retakes.
I'm still gonna fuck it up. I'm still gonna fuck it up.
This was his break point. He was like, I cannot continue if I cannot remember it. No, you got this. You got this, bro. Come on. I'm with you if you need to.
I have to think about the logistics of this. Hold on.
All right, I'll start. It all started when Jeff Hardy beat Bobby Lashley.
Okay, god damn it. I couldn't figure out who beat who again. I was like, either way, like Jeff's response either way is fucking insane.
So yeah, Jeff Hardy beat Bobby Lashley. What happened next?
So Bobby Lashley is pretty dejected. He's feeling like he's taken a lot of losses lately. Kind of unsure of where things are going as of late. He had a lot of momentum near the end of last year, but a lot of that's kind of faded away, and now he's just kind of floating around. I think he's even without a match at the big date, the big show. So Bobby Lashley had been kind of down in the dumps over this, you know what I mean? Not necessarily feeling bad for himself, but, you know, it's a rough time nonetheless. And it definitely doesn't help when you have somebody like Jeff Hardy telling you to your face that wins and losses just don't really mean anything, man. Whatever. Just, like, fucking forget about it, bro. Move on. What's wrong with you? Bobby Lashley, who is the son of a military man, he himself may also be a military man. I forget the kayfabe of that all.
Yes, he is.
He's from a military family. Thank you.
Yeah.
He knows that wins and losses
He's also,
sometimes are extremely serious affairs.
He's an all-American wrestling champion. He takes wrestling very seriously.
He does. Yeah, even without the war.
And a former Intercontinental champion.
So tonight, Bobby Lashley wants to get his win back. He wants to beat Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy probably wants to keep laughing.
Yep, pretty much. Let's see how it goes.
Fucking Jeff Hardy, man.
So in this match, Jeff Hardy continues that sort of carefree, lackadaisical attitude. And you can clearly tell as this match goes on that Bobby Lashley is getting frustrated, is getting irritated at Jeff Hardy. But about maybe 7 minutes in, it changes. Bobby Lashley has changed from trying to win the match and beat the shit out of Jeff Hardy to, like, he's so frustrated with Jeff Hardy's carefree attitude that he wants more than anything for Jeff Hardy to just take the damn match seriously. So he starts slapping up a little bit instead of like going for pinfalls and takedowns and things like that. He's just kind of sort of landing these weak strikes and just screaming at Hardy to take this seriously, get into this match. God damn it, why are you even here if you don't want to win? And then Hardy hits. What was the move again?
The Whisper in the Wind.
The Whisper in the Wind. You can clearly see that Lashley's taunting and Lashley striking has fired Hardy up. And Hardy goes through a quick-paced sequence of moves. And the crowd starts to really get into, I think, Jeff Hardy's comeback here. And Jeff Hardy starts to seemingly take this match a little more seriously. And then as Jeff Hardy bounces off the ropes going for some sort of high-flying maneuver, Bobby Lashley just catches him with a brutal spear and pins him for the 1, 2, 3. But as Bobby Lashley gets his hand raised and he looks down at Hardy, the frustration has evaporated a little bit. And there's a little bit of begrudging kind of respect in his face.
Right on.
But Lashley did get his win back.
I run New York, buddy.
I get money. We show a vignette of John Bradshaw Layfield hitting various versions of his clothesline from hell to the tune of 50 cents. I got money. I get money.
Ago, the countdown ended. The torch was extinguished.
Yep.
John Bradshaw Layfield made his return to the WWE, targeting his former employee, Doug Basham, and seemingly his American Heavyweight Championship.
I think that's a perfect summary. The code was broken. It said, "Save us, JBL," and now Bradshaw's returned, having conquered the Indies, to get back here to the big leagues and add one more title to his resume, and that will happen at WrestleMania. JBL versus Doug Basham, Doug Basham, the Bashman, for the United States Championship.
Hell yeah! In the crowd, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is here. We saw him on SmackDown this past week. He seems to be set in for a WrestleMania collision with our greatest little man, Rey Mysterio. Pretty fucking hype.
He has conquered the goddamn, I forgot the divisions again. He's conquered his various weight divisions in boxing, and here he has come to conquer the cruiserweight division.
Hell yeah. All right, let's talk about La Familia.
Yes.
La Familia is Chavo Guerrero's faction, somewhat put together by Kevin Nash, as Kevin Nash had taken the formerly known as the Major Brothers, two guys who just kind of were around, not doing much of anything. Kevin Nash gave them the path. You know what I mean? Gave them what they needed to become successful, which was 1, better names, and 2, the tutelage of the world's heavyweight champion, possibly the best wrestler in the world, Chavo Guerrero Jr. The newly named Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins have thus taken on the name Los Guerreros Blancos Técnicos. Or just Los Guerreros Blancos, if you're feeling brief.
Or just Los Guerreros.
Or just Los Guerreros. Or just Los. There you go.
We'll just or just Los. So they've joined up with Chavo Guerrero, who has, after many years of having to live, let's be honest, in the shadow of his uncle, Eddie Guerrero, having to deal with people like Rey Mysterio, who've always claimed to be sort of a Guerrero, even though they were not born into the family. Chavo Guerrero has thrown off that identity. Gone now is his trust in his blood family. And he believes that the true family, the strongest family he could ever have, is the one that he's chosen for himself. His friends, his mentor, his father figure almost, Kevin Nash. And this is his family now. Kevin Nash, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins. Those are the people that matter to him. Those are the people who loved him even when he wasn't world champion, who helped him get to that title again, rather than only cared about him when he was at the top.
All right, 3 weeks ago, actually. We'll go with 3 weeks ago. Kevin Nash announces Tagapalooza, a tag team battle royal to determine the number 1 contenders for tonight and the WWE Tag Team Champions, Paul London, Brian Kendrick. Paul London coming back from an injury. This will be their first defense as a duo once more full and together. Brian Kendrick had been held over. Those belts had kind of been held over by Frankie Kazarian and then Rey Mysterio as Frankie Kazarian.
Replacement partners teaming with Kaz.
Yes.
Teaming with Kendrick, sorry.
Yeah, well, Paul London was hurt. Oh, shit, where was I going with this? Hold on.
The belts have been held over. Tagapalooza.
Yes,
who won Tagapalooza?
We did Tagapalooza, and the Los Guerreros won it. The new Los Guerreros, the Ryder and Hawkins edition.
After a technical error meant that Santino Marella and Rene Sebastian Dupree, who are arguably Brian Kendrick and Paul London's greatest ever opponents, actually didn't end up being in Tagapalooza because Kevin Nash kind of forgot they existed.
He definitely forgot. Definitely. Which is how which is why his boys won. There's nothing fishy going on there at all.
No.
Anyways.
In fact, Kevin Nash is a nice guy. He even gave Santino Marella and Rene Sebastian Dupree a chance to get added to this match yesterday.
He did. So Kevin Nash.
But they didn't.
Yeah, they did. They're not going to be here. Yeah, I thought that'd be obvious, but that's okay. So we were set in for Los Guerreros against London Kendrick until last night when Kevin Nash made the call.
Yep.
Fuck the doctors. Fuck the fans.
Well,
I made it for the money. Kevin Nash has decided that Paul London is
not ready.
Cleared.
Yeah.
And so
he doesn't. What a nice guy. He doesn't want to see one of his top superstars rush himself back and get hurt again.
So instead tonight, Kevin Nash would be picking a partner for Brian Kendrick, a SmackDown icon. The two tag team champions are there in the ring, as it is revealed that Brian Kendrick's partner for right now is Hornswoggle.
Oh.
It is Hornswoggle. There it is. That is the leprechaun. Oh God.
Well, I can't defend this one. This is just corruption.
Yeah, it's all right. Brian's got this. All right, he's a chameleon. He can team with anybody. He'll figure it out. Here we go. WWE Tag Team titles.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over. Yeah, they beat Hornswoggle real bad. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, they beat him real bad. That sucks. And it should be worth mentioning that the God reign is over. 403, I think I read on there.
God damn.
Day-long reign of Brian Kendrick and Paul London is done. These two insufferable sons of bitches are our tag team champions.
What has happened to tag team wrestling, Tucker? I usually watch Raw, but I had to turn off because of the tag team champions over there, and now I have my refuge here on SmackDown. Oh, but let's not forget here. Now La Familia, they all have belts. Maybe Chavo Guerrero really is a genius. Maybe he does pick his family well.
If I was Doug Basham, I'd watch out for Kevin Nash.
What about Roderick Strong?
At one point in the cards, Puddy, did we not have a Kevin Nash Bradshaw thing laid out?
Yeah, I had a pitch for that.
That's very funny. That's very funny. Yeah, we have new tag team champions. It's a fucking travesty. You should be angry.
I am angry. I'm very mad.
Good. Moving on to the women.
I think we'll get a pre-thing for the women. There's a little thing anyway.
We get Batista.
Okay, it's not the commentators. SmackDown's just cursed right now. Anyway, putting aside my anger with the video game and the pixels, Amy Weber is going to sit down with Batista for a long-form interview where she asks actually some tough questions, some easier questions too, but some tough questions. She starts off by talking to him about the feud with The Undertaker last year and maybe his highlights, what he thought, how did he go from, how did he feel to lose at WrestleMania to winning at Survivor Series. And Batista's going to say at WrestleMania, he knows now looking back that he gave The Undertaker far too much credit. Right? At WrestleMania, I was intimidated. The Undertaker was in my head. I thought he was unbeatable. I thought he was invincible at WrestleMania, maybe ever. I thought he was inhuman. Thought that no matter what I threw at him, I no matter what I did, I put him through a table. I running power slammed him through the announce table. He still kept getting up. I hit him with the Batista bomb and he kicked out. No matter what I did to The Undertaker, I just couldn't beat him. Not to mention, when I started that match, usually over my career, I've had to start hot if I wanted to win. At WrestleMania, I got completely blown out because I was just awestruck by the occasion. It wasn't like me. And that's why, over the course of the year, things changed, because that was a respect that I should never have had for The Undertaker. Because we all saw at SummerSlam, when Ken Shamrock broke The Undertaker's leg, that he is just a man. Ken Shamrock did a lot more at SummerSlam than break The Undertaker's leg. He broke his illusion. He broke the phenomenon. We all know what The Undertaker is now. He's a man. He's a great wrestler. He's one of the best strikers in the history of the industry. He's tough. He's resilient. But he is just a guy. And at Survivor Series, in the greatest match of my career, I went into Hell in a Cell. I went into his match, into his territory. I entered in all of the mind games and the illusions and the pageantry, but none of it mattered because I knew who The Undertaker was. And The Undertaker was defeated inside Hell in a Cell, and I retained the World Heavyweight Championship because that mattered more to me than the respect that I used to have for The Undertaker. Fighting The Undertaker has made me the better man. I'm the best I've ever been. I'm in the best shape of my career. Tonight, I am going to beat The Undertaker like I did at Survivor Series. And at WrestleMania, I'm getting my World Heavyweight Championship back. And just before the interview is about to end, Amy Weber asks one last question. He says, do you respect The Undertaker after all that's happened? Batista pauses and looks directly into the camera and says, no. And he walks off.
Damn. All right. Here we go. Women. Beth Phoenix is your women's champion.
That's true.
That's a change. That's new. Yeah,
that is new.
That's a new thing. And so we need to crown a challenger for her at WrestleMania 24. We've got, I guess, yeah, like I would say, like the 4 other top stars in the division here.
I agree.
All going at it tonight. Melina Perez, Mickie James, Tori Wilson, Trish Stratus. The winner will go to WrestleMania for the Women's Championship against Beth Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Beth Phoenix is joining us at ringside. She's there with her belt. Over there.
She looks amazing. She's a glamazon.
She is a glamorous Amazon. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Nice. Yeah, actually. Hell yeah. All right, so at ringside, obviously, is Triple H, the real star of this whole thing. Still got that IC title over his shoulder. Still hasn't defended it since probably August or something.
Yeah, I don't actually. Oh no, he defended it in the winner takes all match at New York New Year. In the mixed tag winner takes all match.
Puddy, do you want to explain the situation between Shawn Michaels and Triple H and what the hell happens here and why?
Sure, I'm happy to. So, obviously, Shawn Michaels came back just before the Royal Rumble to take on Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. And he asked Triple H, his friend and DX partner, because DX, for those who have forgotten, is still active. There's been no indication that they're not still a tag team. They still both come out with DX gear. They sell a lot of DX merch. And Shawn Michaels even probably still has the DX theme. So, DX is still a thing. And so he's like, Triple H, have my back at the Royal Rumble. And Triple H eventually, begrudgingly, although he said to Shawn that things had changed a little bit, agreed to have Shawn's back if he was needed. But instead of watching the match, Triple H hung out with his long-term girlfriend, Trish Stratus. And eventually Shawn Michaels figured out that actually Triple H has been very distracted lately. He's been derelict in his duties as a friend because of his relationship with Trish Stratus. And that angered Shawn Michaels to the point where he did what Shawn Michaels does, and is very destructive. And he cost Trish Stratus the women's championship, which just enraged Triple H. Absolutely enraged it. Triple H was convinced that he has to deal with Shawn Michaels or, his life is going to be ruined again. So he has been obsessively planning how he was going to deal with Shawn Michaels to the point where Trish Stratus even is a little bit freaked out and isn't sure this is the course that they should be pursuing. This Monday Night on Raw, after Shawn Michaels got his match with John Cena, Triple H attacked him with a sledgehammer. And probably thought, well, there you go, job done. Shawn Michaels is gone again. I can focus back on my girlfriend and getting her title back. And so he's out here tonight supporting Trish Stratus. But of course, about halfway through the match,
here he
appears. Shawn Michaels with a super kick to Triple H and a super kick to Joey Mercury. And he just looks around like, why am I so violent? Before Beth Phoenix stands up from her chair at ringside. She was like, whoa, I didn't mean anything by it, and leaves. walks out. But the distraction is enough to let Trish Stratus get completely laid out, probably, as we enter the closing stretch of the match as Melina and Mickie James go at it. Eventually, Triple H finally gets back to his feet, kind of holding onto the apron and looking in to see what happened. And he sees Melina with Mickie James ready for the last call. And Melina just flips Triple H the bird and then plants Mickie James and pins Mickie James. And Melina Perez is going to WrestleMania. Melina Perez, Beth Phoenix, Women's Championship. Book it in.
They stare each other down. Here we go. I feel like this is maybe the first women's title match at Mania we've done without Trish Stratus.
We did a Tori Wilson Nat Hart match, I think, at WrestleMania 22.
Oh, you're right. Good call.
I don't know if it was for the women's title. That Trish might have been the women's title that year.
No, okay. It was. You're right. Yep.
Also, wasn't last year Melina versus like Stacy or something?
Oh, was it? Oh. All right. Fair enough then. Don't know why the hell we would have done that, but sure.
SummerSlam is the Trish Stratus title show.
That's the show. I gotcha.
I think we've done Trish versus Nat at SummerSlam 3 times.
We have, yes.
Yeah.
We get the tail of the tape for our Cruiserweight Championship match. Obviously, still our champion, the Millennium Man himself, Roderick Strong. And our new signing, our newer signing. I believe we've seen some of him. I think he was maybe on the Rumble show.
Yeah, I think their tag match, was on Rumble. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so Yoshihiro Nobunaga came in to team with his good buddy Dragon Nakamura. Except that pissed Kevin Nash off. He decided, no, actually, you're not allowed to team. Straight up banned. Fuck you. You're not doing it.
He actually made them fight each other.
He did. He made them fight each other afterwards as well. He's not a cool guy lately, as Kevin. I don't know what happened to him. He was all right before.
Look, I'm not going to defend everything. That Hornswoggle thing earlier was fucked up.
That's
However,
crazy.
I'd like to defend Kevin here in saying that we all wanted to watch Dragon Nakamura versus Yoshihiro Nobunaga. And so Kevin just was doing it for us, for the fans.
You didn't have to ban them from teaming. That's a
I don't actually remember that ever happening on screen. But hey, again, as a fan, I don't remember that happening. All I remember is that Yoshihiro Nobunaga has entered the singles division, and within a month, he's now got a title shot. I think Kevin Nash sees potential in people.
Yeah, using that was it a Meteora? It was.
To the outside?
Yeah, not quite. But using that
Descent from Osaka.
Osaka Meteora, yeah. He's kind of torn through the division here. Within a month, already at the World Cruiserweight Championship. Here we go. Taz runs it down for us. It is going to be emotional.
We should mention briefly that Roddy Strong did think that Floyd Money Mayweather was calling him out, and was a little bit embarrassed last night when he was refused a match with Mayweather at WrestleMania.
That's true. All right, here we go.
Can Nobunaga unseat the Millennium Man? The answer is no.
Roderick Strong is still your Cruiserweight Champion, defense number 6. I think these two just do some dope-ass fucking wrestling. What can I say?
Yeah.
Roddy gets it done. I feel like he hasn't been using his numbers advantage for quite a while, honestly. Roderick Strong is really just that guy.
Yep.
He beats him, and he's going to walk into WrestleMania. Very likely. I mean, we could always have a switch here on the TV, but very likely going to walk into WrestleMania as the Cruiserweight Champion of the world. After
the match, Roddy points at Floyd Mayweather in the front row.
Floyd's like, fuck off. I'm not here for you. Get away from me.
Holds the title up and points at WrestleMania.
He just shakes his head. He's like, no. Yeah.
Dodging me like you dodged De La Hoya, Floyd.
That's awesome. We see footage of a beach. Chavo Guerrero's there. Don't worry, it's not Carlito, everybody. Oh my god. The crowd goes, he's back. Oh god.
Chavo's eating an apple.
Yeah, no, Chavo Guerrero with big gold around his waist is just like, yeah, I'm not watching. Why would I care, bruh? I can beat either of those big guys. All right, I'm the best
I've done
wrestler in
it.
the world. I've got my family at my back.
Congrats, by the way, boys.
Yeah, yeah, good shit, boys. Good shit. Um, see you Friday.
It's worth mentioning part of the reason why Chavo's on a beach is because Kevin Nash promised that Chavo and himself, actually, no, he's on the show, but Chavo would not be here in Las Vegas tonight. He gave Batista his word.
So here we go.
Well, before that, we have a little bit of an announcer thing saying, this is for the number one contender. Also, Taker's here.
Taker is also here, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Main event, probably the last time, really, we're going to see these two clash.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it because in theory we wouldn't know, but just to make it clear, this is almost certainly it for Taker versus Batista. So,
and this is what they want. You know, they've been trying all year to have one last deciding match, and here in Las Vegas, in the fight capital of the world, they are going to clash for the last time. The winner will main event WrestleMania. What bigger stage? It's time.
Cue my way. Let's go.
The conclusion of the epic feud. All right, so this is an epic match. This is a long one. So we get sort of a reverse of how the WrestleMania match opened, where Batista is just lighting Undertaker up with strikes. So much so that at some point Taker has to like roll out of the ring and compose himself. But Batista knows, nah, that ain't happening. So he just immediately rolls out of the ring and spears him into the barricades. Just make sure Taker does not get anywhere near a recovery moment. And Taker clearly, flabbergasted and pained by that spear to the barricade. It looks like we might actually get a count-out victory as Batista rolls into the ring and it gets to 8. And Taker's still down. Batista looks at Taker, he looks at the ref, he shakes his head like, I shouldn't do this, and he breaks the count. He rolls back out and back in, and he goes and he gets Undertaker. But that was his mistake, as Taker hits him with a big uppercut after Batista tries to drag him into the ring. Batista staggers towards the announce tables, and then he, like, a bell rings in his head, because the thing that got Batista control at WrestleMania last year was a running power slam through the announcers table. So he starts tearing apart the announcers table. But as he turns back to the Undertaker catches him with a choke, and he lifts him up and choke slam through the announcers table. And Undertaker rolls back into the ring, and the count gets to 8, and Batista's still down. And the Undertaker thinks, and then he shakes his head, and he breaks the count, and he gets Batista finally back into the ring. And they probably continue to do their sequence, although with a few added twists. So Taker does he sort of gets through his sequence and goes for old school. But when he leaps, Batista catches him in a spine buster off of the ropes. I think at some point Taker does the dive to the outside that he's done the entire feud. Batista can do the... Oh, go ahead.
Taker probably locks in the triangle at some point earlier on or something like that, or...
Yeah, absolutely. And then Batista tries to fight out of it, looks like he's fading, and then lifts Taker up for a massive Batista bomb out of the triangle choke and gets a 2 count. But unlike at WrestleMania or at Survivor Series, where after Undertaker kicks out of the Batista bomb, Batista's like not confused, but like what's the word? Awestruck and like surprised. Batista just shrugs and keeps getting on with it. He knows that this is it's going to take more than just one Batista bomb to put the dead man down. At some point, Batista's going to do his shoulder tackle from the top rope, which is something he only does against the Undertaker. So we'll put that in there. The only time Batista ever goes to the top rope is against this man. And then Taker obviously does the leg drop to the outside. Probably get a last ride or something in the first 15 minutes of this match as well.
Yep.
Any other spots you want to get in there before we get to some of the bullshit?
Taker dive.
Yeah, we did. I did the Taker dive.
You did
already.
Taker dive? Okay, based.
Yeah.
I didn't think you have it in here. Yeah, okay, that's awesome.
I think I'm going to do another one, but yeah, we did do. I did mention one already earlier. I think So I think what's going to transition this match is a Taker dive, though. I think it's because obviously the first 6 minutes of this match are spent outside the ring, as was described.
Yeah.
So at some point it's going to devolve again to these two brawling outside the ring, and I think the ref's going to get to 8 or 9. And these two men have no intention of getting in the ring. And the referee, who is the referee for this?
It is Jimmy Corderas.
Jimmy Corderas knows that this is a massive match, and there's no way this can end in a draw, right? It would be bad for everyone if he counts both these men out right now. So he uses his discretion as the head ref of SmackDown. Is that correct?
Indeed.
Is the head ref of SmackDown. He rolls out of the ring on the 9 count and he starts talking to these two. He's like, guys, come on. Nobody wants to see this end in a draw. I don't, you don't. Let's get the action back in the ring. And then at this point, Batista separates off and starts having a more prolonged discussion with Corderas, back off. I know what I'm doing. While Taker gets back in the ring, bounces off the ropes and does a Taker dive. But Jimmy Corderas gets caught by it and gets knocked unconscious. At which point, here come the new WWE Tag Team Champions. What do they do, Tucker?
They hit the ring and they start attacking Batista and The Undertaker.
God damn.
The new Tag Team Champions. Trying probably to soften up both men for whoever wins. Because, they can't. I don't know. What's their intention here? What are they trying to do?
It's kind of hard to tell because you're right. They're attacking both men, but I think depending on your interpretation, you could come away with various different motivations. Maybe they were trying to get a specific person to win. Maybe they were trying to influence the match, or maybe you're right. Maybe they were just trying to soften both men up. But before we can really tell, Batista and Taker will overwhelm them because they're just Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, and they will briefly team up, I guess, to take down the tag team champions.
Yeah, I think Ray coming down is also a big hand in that as well.
Yeah. But Ray doesn't get. I think you're right. I think Ray will come down to turn the title a little bit, but mostly I think Batista and Taker have probably got it handled. But Ray is there to be like, okay, shit's going. Ray is doing what Shawn Michaels wished Triple H did. Ray has saw that this match has devolved into chaos, and he's down there to have Batista's back because he's his friend. And so he kind of gets the ref up. He talks to Batista, makes sure he's okay, and then the match will progress again for a little bit until. Floyd Mayweather, who's been sort of... Go ahead.
The logistics of this, it doesn't exactly matter why he's going to do this, but I figured right now I should at least to me, justify why the moment Ray comes out here, this doesn't occur. Because Floyd is entirely happy to sit and watch until somebody on his team gets in his ear about what might make for a big moment here, for a big money moment, if you will.
And so Floyd will jump the barricade and start really getting in Ray's face.
Yeah, the two get into it.
Go ahead. Demanding a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, basically provoking Ray, telling Ray that he's a coward for not immediately accepting the match against him. And Batista sees this on the outside, and he's like, Ray, what the fuck? Stop, don't do this here. Not here. And Ray's like, I'm not doing anything, Dave. I'm standing here. This man is yelling at me. And so Batista's like, son of
Dave gets out of the ring.
He rolls out of the ring and gets between them. And he's like, just go, Floyd. Go away. Just chill. You could do this another time.
Floyd tries to push past Batista, so Batista pushes him back, and then because Batista's a big guy, Floyd staggers backwards a little bit. He looks maybe a little bit embarrassed by what just happened, and so he just lands a right hook on Batista immediately, at which point security floods the ringside area. Floyd jumps back over the barricade and runs away. But Batista is bleeding profusely out of his nose. He's clearly broken his nose from this shot from Mayweather. And so a bunch of referees and medics come down, and we patch up Batista's nose to make sure he stops bleeding. And then after that chaos, the referee basically restarts the match. He gets both men in the corners and says, okay,
I like to think
you may proceed.
That whole time the Undertaker's been down, And then as they go to restart the match,
Recovering.
he sits up. He sits up. He's like, all right, let's do it then. Let's close it out.
I like Batista just like he's finally patched up. He gets in the ring and then Taker sits up, and so the ref gets him in the corners. Exactly. I like it. And yeah, we get another like sort of 5 minutes. Clearly they're tired, they're exhausted. We do a trading of right hands, and they land really like clearly they're taking each strike is taking their toll on each man because they've given so much to this match. Taker tries to go for another last ride, but he just doesn't have the energy to finish it. Taker goes for a tombstone, but again, he just doesn't have the energy to finish it. Batista hits him with a spine buster and gets a near count. Taker kind of slips out of one Batista bomb. They're just not quite able to pull the trigger until Batista hits one more spine buster and he just shakes himself awake. He gets that energy flowing within him. He shakes the ropes. He does the thumbs up. He does the thumbs down. This is what happened at Survivor Series. This is the last wind that Batista needs to go to WrestleMania. And he picks The Undertaker up for the Batista bomb. And Taker is fighting. He's striking. He's punching Batista in the head. And eventually Batista sort of like stumbles to the ground. The crowd aren't sure if he's like hit the power bomb or if he hasn't, because Taker's back hit the mat, but it wasn't like a full impact. And then Taker's got Batista in another triangle choke, the second triangle choke of the match. And Batista's there. He's trying to pull The Undertaker up, but he just doesn't have the energy anymore. But he refuses to go down. His hand goes down to see, the referee checks to see if he's unconscious. 1, 2, and Batista's still there. He's still fighting, refusing to die. And then Undertaker shifts one of his legs underneath Batista's throat, shifting the triangle choke into a new sort of submission maneuver that we've never seen before, choking the life out of Batista with his 2 legs between either side of his throat. And then Batista, clearly, the broken nose, some of the stitches are probably broken at this point. He's starting to bleed again slightly from his nose.
Shit.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, he's screaming. He's screaming as he reaches for the ropes, and he's reaching for the ropes. He's positioned so that he can see the WrestleMania sign. He's reaching for the WrestleMania sign, and he knows it's over, and he taps. Our main event is made.
Charlie Haas. This is coming together quite swimmingly.
Mm-hmm.
I think we may have to push this back. Did you want to push this back?
No, I think I'm happy. I'm pretty sure it'll be fine.
Okay, perfect.
I mentioned some time crunch on Raw, and you were like, "No, it'll be fine." So I was like, "Okay, let's do it."
Fair enough then. That is SNME 16.
The score has been settled. I actually kind of like that rating for the main event because it is the right rating. Because what I pitched to Tucker is this one's going to be really long and really bullshit. And so a certain section of the in-game audience will be like, this was the best one. It was cinema. And then a certain portion of the in-game audience will be like, this was bullshit. The others were way better.
Anybody you want to talk to here?
I actually think most people didn't do great today.
I don't think so either. I would do Brian Kendrick for being a pro.
Yep.
I'd like to thank I don't know, I gotta think here. I want to thank
the women did okay. Maybe one of the women.
Yeah, I like it. We could just do Trish. She did.
I was leading that way. She was the best out of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say great performance. And then I want to do all things considered, I think I want to do Floyd Mayweather. Complimented on a good performance. You good shit out there, Floyd. You stiffed him real good, buddy.
Oh yeah, we maybe should have done Batista because we should say to the audience that we did hard way on this and we actually had Floyd Mayweather break Batista's nose.
Yeah, we just didn't tell Dave.
No, I think we would have told Dave. I hope Dave would have agreed to it. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to have surprised him. I don't know.
Weird.
I think that's Curry Man's partner.
Oh, I see. Okay. What do we know about Curry Man?
Well, Fox are already unhappy.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that. Yeah, it's like an 88 for them. So I was like,
okay.
So I was like, this is going to be really hard to
It's
do
not
consistently.
our fault that SmackDown is cursed.
I mean, yes, it is, but you know,
Is it? Do you know why it's happening? Because if it is, we can fix it.
I think we've had such an exodus of talent over the past year and a half. Or
No,
so.
because it's the good talent also underperforming. Look at Bradshaw's stats.
Yeah, I don't know. Can an entire brand be cool? Like in theory, like I don't even.
Probably not. But look at that. Look at that guy.
I'd
Like,
agree with you. How does 88 Pop only get you star?
no, I just mean the ratings more than anything. I imagine the star thing is because of the momentum.
Sure, but I mean, there's something fucky going on here. That's all I'm pointing out here.
Go look at Charlie Haas.
Something ain't right.
That man's getting crazy ratings on Raw.
He is. Something.
Either way, this video is long enough without us rambling, so we should call it a day.
It is. The next time we see you guys, it's going to be WrestleMania 24. Thanks for sticking around, I guess. And then after Mania 24, big changes potentially. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Oh, you don't?
I don't really know anymore. I mean, we definitely could.
Okay.
We definitely could, but I don't see it as quite as necessary as I once believed.
Okay. Tucker's talking about what game we're going to be playing after Mania, so if you have thoughts, come over to the Twitch stream, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about it soon.
Yeah, or leave them in the comments of this video if you've made it this far. Because if people would really want to see us move over to 9, then I'm okay with
I think
that,
the comments will be overwhelmingly in favor of doing so, if I had to guess.
Okay. Just because there's no... Well, it's okay. Yeah.
Again, I think it's more of a back and forth that we have to have. So, yeah, I think the Twitch chat's probably the best place for it, because then we can have a few back and forths rather than one comment.
Yeah, but I would still appreciate the comments and stuff like that, just to know how many people are thinking that, if you are thinking that, or if you don't care either way, you know, that's also valuable info. For Puddy, for myself, for the Undertaker, Woke Taker himself, and I don't know, Roy Walker, I guess. We'll see you at WrestleMania in Orlando.